Abdul Jabbar jumping at middle court here at the Heck Edmondson Pavilion at the University of Washington. 9,000 fans on hand, and the rest of Seattle glued to the television sets tonight, as is the city of Los Angeles, watching this live on KNXT.
I noticed them measuring the basket. They didn't take my word for it, huh?
No, they didn't, Russ. Taking no chances in this one. Nixon is 10. Jones rotates down inside. Gus Williams takes him, and Jamaal Wilkes for the game's first shot. Rebound, Kareem. Missing the layup. Sonics control. So the Lakers had a golden opportunity. Dennis bounces to J.J. back to Shelton, who's open.
Again, Brent, that Jamaal Wilkes has not been shooting well, and he had a wide-open shot to start the game.
Magic on the penetration, yanked away by Shelton. Back to Dennis, to the corner to John Johnson. He'll hit Jack Sikma. Gus had it knocked away by Jamaal Wilkes. Sonics won the foul. Nixon. Dennis and Gus bring it up, and of course earlier tonight Philadelphia defeated Boston 102-90, 30 for Julius Erving, and we will have highlights of that action at halftime. And we've got the game's first foul, and it goes against Jabbar.
Well, they love that here, Brent. Whenever the big guy gets a foul, I don't think they can get Kareem in foul trouble, though. When you go to the wire in that second half, he stays pretty loose.
John Johnson. Magic, strong rebounding guard, pours the ball for the Lakers and rotates to the right. Wilkes drops it off to Kareem. Faked into the left in the middle and drew the foul as he came up. Lonnie Shelton hit him, and he had really faked Jack Sikma to the baseline that time, Russ.
Well, what you have to try to do guarding a guy like him, that skyhook he's so good that you got to take that away and make him go the other way where there is some help in the middle. And that's good defense. Although it didn't work that time, that's what they're going to have to continue to do if they want to cut his production down.
31 points in the second game. And in the 4 victories over Phoenix, Abdul Jabbar scored more than 30 in each of those wins. So he has carried the offensive load for Paul Westhead and the Lakers so far in the playoffs.
I see what the Sonics would have to try to do defensively is if he gets 30, have to work and take so many shots that he distorts their offense. And by the same token, what the Lakers going to have to do is with the Seattle guards is make them take so many shots that they'll distort their offense.
Sonics missed 2 shots. Kareem hits Wilkes on the break. Now Jamaal was fouled by John Johnson.
That was a good pass, too.
Great pass. He let it right out there. There's a look at it. Wilkes did not slow down. Even though Johnny Johnson was there, he continued his path to the basket, and that made it easy point for the layup.
On that kind of pass, that's the best kind of pass to throw. Just throw it out there and let the guy run to it. A lot of guys will try to throw it directly to the guy, but it's better to lay it out there and let him run under it like a wide receiver.
We got a timeout. We'll be right back in Seattle. Back to the Boston Garden on CBS Sunday, needing a victory. And, of course, if the 76ers win it, then the Celtics would be eliminated, because tonight they took a 3-1 series lead over Boston, 102-90. Larry Bird with 19 as Jamaal Wilkes misses the free throw, and Freddie Brown on the left and Michael Cooper on the right. Cooper with a pulled hamstring will be able to play tonight, and they'll send Cooper in, of course, to work against downtown.
You know what I noticed in the first 2 games, Brent? Magic Johnson plays it very, you might say, very cool, because Dennis Johnson does a good job on him. And so what he doesn't try to get into a confrontation with Dennis. He just plays the way he normally plays. I don't think he shoots as much, though.
Russ, they are giving Jack Sikma that shot, and that will change after a field goal such as that. Jack has been in a bit of a slump, and they've been sagging off. He shot 2 and hit 1 from there. Ball knocked out of bounds, Lakers.
Well, that's part of what the Sonics are going to try to do. Jack is a good outside shooter. They're going to try to get Kareem away from the basket, because he's closed down the middle pretty well for him in the first 2 games.
7 on the shot clock. 6, 5, Magic with an offensive rebound. And as he came up, fouled by Johnson.
Take another look at it. Magic, of course, led the NBA guards in rebounding, averaged almost 8 a game on the year. Good move. Put the ball up. He'll miss the shot, rebound it, and J.J. will commit the foul. As Magic smartly kept the ball up high on the offensive rebound try.
3 team fouls on the Sonics. I noticed that the rims at both ends are very tight. Russ, will that affect either of these teams?
Not to, they'll adjust to it. The good shooters can do that. But see, these rims, they've been using them for college games, and they aren't used enough.
J.J. This is to Gus. Here's Sikma on the bounce to Dennis. Magic is there. Dennis rises. Hit by Wilkes control. Lakers, they're up by 2, and they go to Norm Nixon.
Sikma saved on the basket there. He really hustled back defensively to cut off Magic.
There's Nixon, hot rod, squeezing the trigger. And, of course, as everyone knows, he's experienced a lot of trouble the last couple of years against Gus Williams, so he's trying to get off quickly here tonight.
One thing that hurts your shooting is when you have to play defense against a great guard like Gus, and it takes away from his offensive end.
Nixon fouled him as Lenny Wilkins and Paul Westhead watched from their benches, and the chess game continuing. Now there you could see the body contact. Nixon was riding him. Inbounds pass. They move it to Shelton. Comes up above Jones. He's short. Sikma taken away by Wilkes, who's very strong rebounding here early. Magic gets daylight. Jones.
Great control by Magic. He almost had the ball taken away at midcourt, but he spotted the defender, made a super move around him, and then passed it off right at the perfect time for the basket.
Los Angeles builds a 10-4 lead, and Lenny Wilkins will use a timeout. Now let's show you what Hot Rod was telling you about this great control here by the young man from Michigan State. Drew Shelton into him, then hit Jones. Jones with good body control in the delay. We'll be right back in Seattle. Jump his motorcycle, the full length of the Edmondson Pavilion tomorrow on the Sports Spectacular. That's where we are here tonight for this NBA action on CBS. The Wizard moves it over to Dennis.
They had a mismatch there, and Dennis against Jamaal Wilkes. They cleared it out. Jamaal gave him a little room, and Dennis raised and hit. He's been shooting extremely flat in this series. That's why his percentage has been low.
Lakers up by 4, 10-6. Shelton is out on Jones, and the shot clock is inside of 10. 7 on the shot. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. John Johnson rebound. Lead to Gus, and here comes the Wizard. Lakers come right back down. Now the lead has slipped to 2. Back to Kareem, who was behind Sikma, double team Shelton, and Magic was the right man at the right spot.
Oh, now the last bucket that Gus Williams got, that was a good example of how to run. Because he didn't run at full speed. He kind of lulled Norm Nixon into trying down court, and then he took off and he got that one step, which is all he needed to get the layup.
The foul was on Jamaal. That is the 3rd team foul on the Lakers. Into Shelton. 12-8. Lakers up by 4. Jamaal with J.J. on a rolling hook, in and out, and it is Magic again rebounding. Behind Dennis, off now to Norm Nixon. Dennis quickly picks him up and slips to the floor. Shelton, good help. Kareem short on the shot, plus 24 hook. And drew the foul. Kareem Abdul Jabbar.
They missed that one foul when Nixon just pushed Dennis Johnson down.
Take a look at this. Nixon shoved DJ down, no call. Went in here. Kareem was a little surprised, had that open shot, missed it. Now he got the one he wanted, the old sky hook. And with a great soft touch, he gets the field goal. It counts in a free throw.
Making it 15-8 against Lenny Wilkins and the world champions here in Seattle.
Now Seattle's going to have to get into the transition game. They're going to have to run.
There's Williams inside Russ that time with that good penetration move and that quick pull-up. He just went right around his man.
If you see Seattle walk the ball up offensively 4 or 5 times in a row, they're not playing their game. Because they've got to be running, controlling the boards.
It's Sikma and Kareem really going ahead of it.
Turnover, and it'll go to the Sonics. Gus Williams held his hand back and didn't collect.
Here's the battle inside. Look at Sikma fighting to stay in front of Kareem, leaning on him, holding him, shoving him, and it worked. He never got
that time.
Yeah.
Sonics and the wraparound pass. Shelton off again to Magic, who's dominating the defensive glass for the Lakers. Rotating inside. Got the foul, and he'll come up to that free throw line. Dennis Johnson protesting to Jack Guyton.
That's a great advantage to have a guard that can rebound and take it down as Magic does. 6'8", goes the length of the court on this move to draw the foul. DJ very unhappy with the call. Magic will get 2 free throws.
Magic had only 5 rebounds in Game 2. He's off almost that quickly right here in the first period of Game 3. He had 8 back in the first game of this series. The Lakers are up by 5. We've got 5 minutes and 59 seconds first period.
You really cut down your turnovers when you have a player, a guard that can handle the ball and run the middle on the break because he doesn't have to pass the ball off. And Britt dribbles it down, and that cuts your turnovers down.
But most of the guys that can handle the ball that well got too much sense to be in.
Right.
Magic picks up DJ. They go to Shelton in the corner. The Lakers forcing the Sonics out of their rhythm early. JJ double team. Jamaal deflects. Jones to save it. And Jones hit the back of his head when he went down. He's up. He's okay. Here's Magic. Magic hits Wilkes. Wilkes for the
That was a beautiful play because he drew Sikma. He made Sikma commit to him. If he hadn't committed, he would have had a layup. So that was a great play he did.
Magic.
Great patience for a young player.
He has got him off moving here early, something he hasn't done in the first couple of games.
Sikma got Kareem in the air and hit the field goal. And that is 2 on Abdul Jabbar. Watch this.
Great
Good move by Jack.
Fall away shot, he faked it, then leaned in. That's a tough shot, but he made it, and he was really whacked off balance by Kareem. That's his second field goal for Sikma here in the quarter.
2 other men waiting to come in. Rookie James Bailey on the left and Spencer Haywood on the right. 2 of the big substitutes will be dueling, as will Fred Brown and Michael Cooper, whom you saw earlier. And time has been stopped here.
No, they have to give delay of the game warning to the Sonics.
And they set up the trap. Nixon comes across.
Shoved off
Dishes
the
Wilkes. Yanked off by Shelton to DJ. To Sikma, hit out of bounds by Jones.
Well, that last pass, again, Nixon came into the top of the lane. He shoved off with that right arm. But again, they did not make the call. That's 2 offensive fouls he could have been called for. Smart if they don't call it, though.
Just 1. And he would have done it again if once they call 1, he'd stop.
He'll stop it.
19-13, Lakers over the Sonics. Dennis maneuvering. Yanked down by John Johnson. They missed 2 shots. And here's Norm Nixon. Nixon draws the double team. Here comes Kareem. It'll be 5 on 5. Jamaal puts it down, gets inside of John Johnson, and travels. No basket. It goes over to the Sonics.
They had him cut off, Brent. They doubled up, shut the middle off, and he committed himself, and he charged.
Shelton sends it back to DJ, and they go through John Johnson. Sikma at the perimeter. Williams in low with Nixon swatted away by Kareem. And here's Nixon again, bringing the ball up for the Lakers. The middle's open, and it's off Wilkes' hand and out of bounds. Goes over to the Sonics.
That last block by Kareem reminded me of Russell when he was playing. Knock the ball to a teammate. Don't slap it out of bounds.
Jones down, and Spencer Haywood in the game now for the Lakers. He'll be at that big, strong, or power forward position. He'll move against Lonnie Shelton. That'll be the matchup on that side. Gus Williams with the field goal to make it 19-15. It is a 4-point Laker lead.
Those Laker forwards have got to step out on the guards of Seattle when they're going to pull up for those jump shots. Got the help.
Kareem gets in behind Sikma. It's open.
Yeah, he was open that time.
Williams will attack from the right side. 21-15. Lakers up by 6.
High percentage shot, huh?
Dennis Johnson on the penetration off the glass. And Michael Cooper will be checking in on the right. And Freddie Brown is awaiting that call from Lenny Wilkes. Knocked back. Still Lakers ball. Here's Magic. Inside. Lonnie Shelton taken away by Magic. Lakers control. Wilkes didn't have it. And there is Magic.
Boy, I mean, they went out to the board. Magic got hit on top of the head, but he's all right. I mean, they were going for that rebound. Magic missed 2 easy ones. Watch this, Brett. The easy one is an air ball, but he'll get it back. This is a wide-open layup, but he shot it too quickly. Then Wilkes misses one. And now Magic, beautiful fake, and Shelton right there got it.
Here is a workhorse guard, Magic Johnson, with 7 rebounds already in the first period here in Seattle. It's 21-17. Lakers over the Sonics. And here's the rookie.
So many times you go back up with an offensive rebound, you're waiting for contact. And when it's not there, you shoot the ball too hard, as Magic did the first 2 tries.
In the penalty. Now you will see a heavy bandage up high on the left leg of Michael Cooper. The young man is playing with a pulled hamstring as Magic misses the penalty. There you see Coop. And the Lakers get it back in a fresh 24 with a 22-17 lead. And again, Sikma pops out in front of Kareem. And Shelton lurks there as Jack rotates back. 7 on the shot clock. Loose to Dennis Johnson. Lead, and Gus simply all alone. A defensive mistake by the Lakers.
The Lakers haven't missed enough shots around the basket to last a lifetime tonight.
And Sikma fronting Kareem. They got to keep the ball away from him. They play him as well as any club in the league.
Spencer Haywood. DJ quickly for the Sonics. It's 24-19 Lakers. Here's Gus inside of Michael Cooper, but forced back outside to DJ. Didn't get the bounce. Kareem rebound. Off now to Michael Cooper. Cooper's got Magic on the left, and here he comes. Jack Sikma goes in and score it to Magic Johnson.
Here's your play again. Magic from left side just went right to the hoop. Sikma went up over the rim and knocked it away. So Magic getting down once again on that fast break for Los Angeles.
Inside to Sikma, behind his back, and DJ. Beautiful pass.
The Laker guards just turned their heads on the defense that time. Magic let him go back door.
1:30 Rod left here in the first period. Shelton going with Haywood. Off the leg to Wilkes, who controls. 5 on the shot. 4, 3, 2, 1. At the buzzer, he got it off. John Johnson controls. Here's Williams. Gus. 26-23. 1:10 to go in the first.
Boy, he had Cooper backpedaling all the way.
Loose ball on the floor. Haywood picks it up. Haywood jumps to Jamaal, who missed the layup. Another one inside Russ. Here's John Johnson off to the right. Williams, and it's a 1-point Laker lead. And those blown layups have made it a close game.
And again, they were looking for the contact. There was none there, and Jamaal just simply missed a wide open shot.
That's the time left in the first period. Cooper waits. 8 on the shot. 7, 6, and Wilkes this time put in the field goal. It's 28-25.
Well, they're going to go for the last shot now, so they'll walk up. But the Lakers might have broken this game over. They just made layups. They could be at least 10, 11 points ahead.
Inside move to Gus Williams. And it's a 1-point game again. And for the Wizard, 14 more points in the first period. The buzzer, Magic almost hit from midcourt. Touched the glass, it was in and out. The first period is over in Seattle. And the Los Los Angeles Lakers lead the world champions 28-27. This is game 3 of the Western Conference Final, and Hot Rod, he just all but made it.
That's his magic. He hit one in the first game from that same spot. That one ran in and out. That one that he made was at the end of the third quarter. Gave the Lakers a little lift going to the fourth period.
Speaking of lifts, Bill Russell, here is 36-year-old Paul Silas, who can give you a lift as quick as anyone in the league.
You know, he has a tremendous talent for rebounding, because I don't think he jumps 3 inches off the floor anymore.
When he jumps, you can't get a dime under his foot.
Don't jump, you said that too.
Silas moves it back to Gus. John Johnson sends it to Tom Lagarde, who's out there with Silas. Off the glass, and it's 29-28. The Sonics lead on that field goal with Jack Sikma and Abdul Jabbar watching from their respective benches. In that first period, LA hit 8 of 12 free throws. Seattle 1 of 1. So free throws kept the Lakers ahead. But now it is the Sonics who seize the lead early in the second. Intercepted by Williams on a lazy pass. Magic and Jones are back. Jones reached in on Williams and fouled him. And Williams is not happy about being held in this situation by Jones.
He should not have fouled him on this play. He'd already stopped his momentum. He got help from a teammate coming back behind him. Right here, he hooked his arm.
Well, see, if Gus had run by you a few times like that, Rod, you don't take any chances.
There he is on a spinner rush, misfiring. Cooper sending it to Magic. Lakers down by a point now as they come down on this offensive trip. Nixon jumps to Cooper, who should have shot the ball. He was all alone, and he dished to Haywood. Haywood misses the shot. Cooper had an easy one. Now it's John Johnson. Sonics up by a point. Dennis Johnson to the glass. Off. Russ, is it just a coincidence that the Sonics have gone to the glass here in the Edmondson Pavilion? Does it have anything to do with the rim, or is it simply the angles that they're finding themselves
It's
in?
the angles they're finding, because you can't, most of the time, you can't set a guy up that you have a shot off the glass. It's the way you react on defense.
And the NBA on CBS will continue from Seattle after these words from your local stations. Watching the action here in Seattle. Hot Rod, what happened to Michael Cooper inside here?
I think it's because he's never played here. He didn't realize his floor position. He passed off. Very bad pass. He had a wide open layup and completely surprised Spencer Haywood. And having played here for the first time, that could be the reason.
Freddie Brown is in and Gus Williams out. So downtown Freddie Brown.
You notice the number of minutes the Laker guards are having to put in.
10:37 here, Russ in the second. 29-28. Sonics over the Lakers. They get it to Magic, who's gone all the way, as Bill Russell just pointed out. Bank shot misses. Lagarde's off to Brown. Freddie handles the ball first time.
Now with Fred instead of Williams in, they don't have to run as much. He takes a different kind of shot. So you see a subtle change in the Seattle offense. They don't run as much with Fred Brown as they do with Gus Williams.
Nixon's shot did not bounce back in. DJ sends it to Paul Silas. Back to JJ from the right corner. Jones rebounds. Leads Magic. Nixon's on the right. This will be easy.
He carried it right to the basket. That's an interesting matchup now. Magic's playing at a forward against JJ. He has to adjust defensively because JJ shoots the ball on a run as opposed to the guards that he's used to playing that shoot jump shots.
Silas got it to Johnson, and there was a foul as he rose up.
Went right to the basket.
Haywood raising his arm, and Magic Johnson will leave, and Jamaal Wilkes checks in for the Lakers. So they used him for a time at forward, Hot Rod. Now they're going to give him a rest.
And JJ got a field goal and then drew a foul on this play. Take nothing away from Magic's defense, but it's tougher for him to guard a player like JJ than it is to play the backcourt man.
That's because their speed is so much different that you have to adjust, and you play lower center of gravity in your body when you're playing a small guy, because you got to have better lateral movement.
Lakers can tie it on this trip. 32-30, 9:30 left in the second period. Silas is out high with Haywood. Here's Nixon, 8 on the shot. John Johnson, and he's hit by Nixon. He had possession. That's a backcourt foul against Norm Nixon. John Johnson is coming up to the other end to shoot free throws.
Your little guards, that'll happen too. They want to reach in and try and snap that ball away. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar will return.
Especially after they've just missed a shot they think they should have made.
That's right. They want that ball back. John Johnson, though, if you look against him, he missed this little jackknife shot. J.J. rebounds and protected the ball well and got the backcourt foul.
J.J.'s free throw makes it 33-30. Sonics over the Lakers. Some of the players on these two teams, of course, have played here before, particularly those out of the Pac-10. Lonnie Shelton of Oregon State, Gus Williams of USC. They're both on the Sonics. For the Lakers, while he was Lou Alcindor, he played up here at UCLA. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had one game as a Milwaukee Buck, too. But Michael Cooper with a shot has never been here. And he's way short of everything. John Johnson puts it to the floor. Comes to the attack. LaGard is alone. Tapped in by Silas. Out of bounds. And it goes over to the Lakers. And we're going to have a timeout at the Edmondson Pavilion in Seattle with the world champion Seattle Supersonics leading the Lakers 34-30. We'll be right back. Coming up at halftime. Here are the Lakers with possession, trail the champions by 4. Haywood shot. That is back out of bounds, hit by the Sonics, and the Lakers set it up.
Now, the Lakers have been affected by the injury to Michael Cooper because his key things that makes him effective is his speed and good lateral movement. Now, his timing is definitely off, and they don't have the depth that Seattle has. When they go to their bench after their first 7 guys, they're digging them deep.
Freddie Brown gets it from Dennis. Kareem had it knocked away by Silas. On the steal, sent it inside to Dennis, and Michael Cooper flying at him in the corner, fouled him.
There one thing a moment ago when Freddie took that shot, he should have moved on in. He would have had a layup. Here's DJ on that baseline. Cooper made a game effort coming across the shoulder. They got him for the foul, and DJ will get 2.
A reverse of the first period. The Lakers with 4 team fouls. And 8:24 to go in the second period. So the Sonics coming to the free throw line here. And that builds a 6-point lead for the Sonics. Nixon calls it off. Haywood high in the middle. Magic will return. On the turnaround, Spencer Haywood hits the field goal.
Former Seattle Supersonic, and he said in the local papers here, he's very happy to be with this ball club, the Lakers, and he wants to contribute. He wants to win a world championship.
Freddie Brown up on Nixon. Goes to Norman. Norman in the middle. The little guard out of Duquesne. Moves it to Jamaal Wilkes, who's all alone. Silk comes back up with an offensive rebound and missed again. The incredible Hulk, Lonnie Shelton, the Kareem with a hand. Here now is Jamaal. Inside, foul by Shelton. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar inside.
Watch him drop the inside with LaGard, really riding him under the boards. Shelton came down with it. Tell you, on the offensive end, you take a look at the shots by Jamaal Wilkes. He has no confidence. He's kind of guiding the ball instead of snapping his shots up. And I think that's one reason he's been missing.
Magic is back. The pass went over to Wilkes. They have taken Spencer Haywood out, and that is 4 fouls on Lonnie Shelton. So they will have to go to the Sonic bench right away. John Johnson in, and Lonnie Shelton, he's talking to Jack Madden as he heads off. 4 fouls on a powerful forward. Now, he has not fouled out of a single playoff game so far. And as everyone knows, especially New York Knicks fans, that may have been his only weakness when he came into the league. He got into early foul trouble.
That'll really hurt Seattle. He has been their leading rebounder in playoff games.
Here's Michael Cooper, hot rod. Silas. And as Russ pointed out, Cooper is struggling. Williams negotiates, dishes back to Freddie. Freddie dribbles back outside. Cooper with him. Freddie takes him inside. Almost had the shot. Knocked away by Wilkes. Lakers down by 4. Nixon's got Cooper.
He can make those.
Cooper's moving out. Nothing wrong with that leg.
He's not like he usually does.
On those kind of injuries that he has, It doesn't usually hurt you when you're running forward, but when you try to run backwards or lateral, that's when it slows you down.
Here's Silas, powerful, knocked away by Kareem. A great block.
Great effort by Silas, getting it back and putting it up to draw the foul. Kareem came from nowhere to make the block. Look at 33. Kareem across the back, knocked it down. Silas picks it up. Shot knocked away again, but a foul.
And that's 3 on Abdul Jabbar. Timeout. We'll be right back. 9,000 on hand, but I'll tell you, they sound like about 40,000 here tonight. Now, Bill Russell with those 3 fouls on Kareem. What will Seattle try to do here with 6:42 to go before the half?
They probably will try to have Sikma go to the basket on Kareem. Now, this can be a mistake. Because the guy's got 3 fouls, you try to get him in more foul trouble. And what you do, you distort your offense by playing him one-on-one and try to get in foul trouble. So your whole offense suffers to try to get this one guy in foul trouble. The way you really exploit a guy in foul trouble is make him get involved in switches where he has to move, and its chances are he'll pick up that foul or other foul much easier when he gets a little guy on a switch or something like that.
Those 2 free throws, Rush, put the Sonics up by 4. 38-34. Nixon goes to Jamaal. They dump it into Kareem. Kareem skyhook, and it's back down to 2.
Yeah, he remembers these rims.
That's a beautiful way. He
still
set
hasn't
that up.
tested.
Got it just rolled into the middle and got the defense leaning that way and get right back to the baseline.
Silas outside. Magic trying to cut off a passing lane. Matched against him. Now Magic's out on Sikma on the switch. They go to Gus. Loose, and here's Magic. Good pressure inside by the Lakers. Nixon splits the defense, and we're tied at 38 with 6:02 to go on the second.
He did it at both ends. Made a great defensive play.
And Magic is guarding Paul Silas.
He's out.
He'll get a couple of bruises in there.
Yeah, he'll know who
John Johnson.
He'll know he's playing somebody.
Lakers can go ahead on this trip. Magic eyes Michael Cooper. They lead by 2 as Magic Johnson dishes the assist to Cooper. And Lenny Wilkes now talking to the champions as they come back. They can tie it. Sikma into the lane. Gets Kareem in the air. Loose, taken back out by Silas, and a fresh 24. Downtown's 3-pointer is off. Stolen back by the grand old man. Silas, it goes to J.J.
That hurts when you get a rebound, especially the bruising you take to get a rebound against the Sonics, and then you let them take it away from you. That hurts a little bit too much.
John Johnson's wrap around to the corner. Gus battles for the loose ball. Nixon tied him up. Jump it up now.
Norm is so quick, and he watches and he times it when the ball bounces up so he can get that hand in there. Good play.
And both coaches now off the bench. Lenny Wilkes and Paul Westra.
One of the signs of fatigue, which just showed itself, is the fact there's a lot of reaching done. When guys are tired, there's a tendency to reach. When they're in pretty good shape, they don't reach as much.
Back to J.J. Move to Sikma. Gus Williams alone like a winner. Tied at 40. 4:41 left in the first half. Game 3 of this Western Conference Final. The series even a game apiece. And Game 4 right here in Seattle on Sunday. The second game of the CBS doubleheader. Jamaal Wilkes missed. Michael Cooper taps to Kareem. Kareem inside to Wilkes, who hit Freddie Brown. And Brown fouled him.
He was moving on the play, I believe. We'll take a look at it again, Fred. Freddie on his back. Kareem makes a beautiful pass here. Slipped it right by the defenders inside, and boom, contact. Couldn't really tell whether Freddie was moving or had established his defensive position. Of course, the fans don't like it, but a foul to Freddie Brown.
Dennis Johnson in, and Freddie Brown leaves at 4:22. Deadlocked at 40. Michael Cooper and Silas exchanging gentle shoves, or maybe not so gentle. Lob, Kareem behind Sikma, and Williams came across.
He almost got a good block. Little Gus. 6-2 against Kareem. 7-2. Watch this. Sikma was spotting. Here comes Gus, number 1. Right there, grabbed him by the arm.
Have you noticed that every time they hit Kareem, there's never been a soft hit?
They really get him.
I think they're trying, as they say, the old school, ring his bell.
He can take it, though.
He has to be able to take it because he's taken quite a beating already tonight.
missing the 2 free throws. It stays tied at 40. And here come the champions. Dennis Johnson sends it to Sikma. Takes the outside shot to put the Sonics up.
Now Kareem has to give him that shot now because of the foul trouble. Now he was playing him close out there.
They go to Jamaal Wilkes. Silas with good defense, and John Johnson quickly for the Sonics. John Johnson sends it off to Gus Williams. Couldn't handle it cleanly. Had to pass. Wilkes to the rebound. Holds and now goes to Norm Nixon. 3:33. Nixon wheeling left. Sends it across inside to Kareem.
Good pass.
With vengeance it's time.
Magic loved that one. One guy that's really been great for Seattle has been Silas. It's been phenomenal. He's gotten 3 steals. He's grabbed offensive rebounds. He's doing it all.
John Johnson hits the field goal. 44-42. Sonics over the Lakers. 3:08. Cooper was cutting, and Dennis Johnson right there with him. Now they go into Kareem. Silas helping. Kareem on the layup.
He leaned that one right in over Silas.
Dennis Johnson quickly to the attack for the Sonics. Goes the length of the floor, and he's fouled by Michael Cooper. We will have a timeout called by the Los Angeles Lakers. And here in Game 3 of this Western Conference Final, we are tied at 44, 2:53 until the half. And highlights, Celtics 76ers. Left hot rod and Russ, and it shoots. Wind up the one on the right, and it just flies all over the floor for you.
Look at both of them keeping their heads up while they're dribbling the ball.
Dennis Johnson hitting the free throw to put the Sonics ahead 45-44. 2:53 left in the half. In the penalty. At the free throw line, the Lakers 8 of 14. Remember, they were 8 of 12 at the end of the first period. The Sonics were only 1 of 1 at the end of the first period. Now they are 10 of 12. So the free throw story has turned 360 degrees here in Seattle.
They're in a zone press now, Brett.
And a steal. It's successful, Hot Rod. Back now to DJ. And as he came up on Nixon, he was fouled. He'll come to the line. And that's 3 fouls on Norman.
That shot was blocked by Kareem. Beautifully done, but Nixon did not realize that Kareem was behind him. Watch the play. Here's the ball picked off by Silas. Kareem will come in and make the block on this shot right here, but Nixon doesn't see him. He got a hand to it, and Nixon got the foul.
Now that press that Seattle put on then worked perfect because the idea is not to steal the ball from the dribbler, but to make him make a long pass. And the other two, they double team, and the 2 guys down court zone so that they can get the angle on a long pass. And it worked perfect for him that time.
Getting the Lakers in the penalty early is a huge factor here in the second period. Dennis Johnson, this period, has made 6 free throws. And it's 48-44 Sonics. And against the pressure, they're holding the ball. They were yelling for traveling. Norman Nixon double team, comes across. And it goes over. It goes over.
You look again. Here they dribble him up in the backcourt. As Dennis does a good job making him move laterally, and he ran right over DJ. Ball goes back to Seattle.
Hot Rod, what should they do now against this press as Norm Nixon goes out?
They've got to move the ball, not dribble it so much as number 1. Get people down the court. And I think it's still smart to keep Kareem in that backcourt.
John Johnson holds and goes to Gus. Cooper trying to fight through a Silas screen. That's some chore. Gus Williams is off. Jones yanks a rebound down. Inside of Sikma. Magic brings it back. Lakers down by 4. Back to Jones from Kareem. Jones left alone, a deadly outside shooter, cracks down the miss. Now it's Magic. Magic puts a couple of moves on, dishes Kareem. Kareem gets the roll. It's 48-46. Inside of 2. Lenny Wilkins up, directing the attack in front of the Sonic bench. JJ fouled as he came inside, and it goes against Wilkes, his second. Jamaal Wilkes' second foul, and John Johnson comes up, and again the Sonics are at that free throw line.
Yes, good position, Brent, but he reached in to get the foul as J.J. was moving right into him, going toward the basket.
This is the 15th free throw that the Sonics will have shot this period, as opposed to 2 for the Lakers. In the first period, however, Kareem and the Lakers had 12 free throw attempts, and Seattle only 1. Kareem with the 3 fouls will watch the rest of the half. Lenny Wilkes goes back to the Seattle bench. The Sonics lead it by 2, 48-46, 143 here in the second period. John Johnson with 7 points, 3 of them at the free throw line this period. Now that's 4. So J.J. and DJ have been lethal from the line. There's the press again. Lakers bring it out to Magic. Cooper should have come right across the timeline. He held up in the backcourt. Cooper gave him a fresh chance. Long pass to Haywood. Haywood now comes in with the shot is short. Sikma rebounds. The Lakers being flustered by the full court press of the Sonics. Williams with some wizardry. Off to Jones. Jones now off to Magic. Magic dribbles it across the timeline. Magic dishes to Cooper on the pull-up. Cooper's got the field goal. It's 50-48 and 1:15 first half.
That guy was just inexperienced. The reason why Coop didn't come across midcourt. He was thinking all the way, hold that ball up and look for somebody to hand to.
J.J. sends it back now to Silas. Shot clock at 8, 7. And yanked down by Wilkes and tied up by John Johnson. Jump ball.
Of course, Seattle has experience right down the line. They're the world champions. They've been here before. That could be a factor.
J.J. moves in against Jamaal Wilkes. Sikma yanks away the tap. DJ goes to John. Sends it back now to DJ. Over to John. 11 on the shot. And that's the time remaining. Sikma tried to tap it back up and in and controls. Cooper goes to the floor. Offensive foul against Jack Sikma. Lenny Wilkes very unhappy on this call. John Johnson split the defense, squeezed the trigger. Sikma tapped it back up and in. Then Jack went out after the ball on the dribble. He rammed into Cooper, who drew the foul by going back.
Cooper didn't have a chance to get out of the way on that one.
It's a 2-point lead. The Lakers can tie it. The Sonics know they will get the ball back for at least one more shot. Magic on the penetration, and it goes over.
That was a good pass.
Williams to the attack, and now it's the last shot time for the Sonics. They're up by 2, time ticking away. They can run it on down and run the clock completely out here in the first half. Sikma on the turn with a field goal, a 4-point lead. Pressure quickly to Cooper. Looking to the side for the clock, missing the shot. And the first half is over at the Edmondson Pavilion. Paul Westhead and the Lakers trail Lenny Wilkes and the world champion Seattle Supersonics 52-48 as Lenny confers with his prime lead guard Gus Williams, and the Sonics go off the floor. Let's go to Hot Rod and Paul Westhead.
Well, even though you're down by 4 and you got Kareem with foul trouble, not really 3, but you took him out with 1:43 left and a half. Are you going to keep working it that way depending on his fouls?
Well, he picked up the third early in the second quarter, and I just made the decision that we wouldn't win the game with him on the bench. So I took a gamble, and then when the gamble worked and it kept us alive, then I got him out of there in that last minute. Equal concern is Norman with his 4th foul. I don't like that at all because he's our floor director, and we just can't play without either one of those fellas out in the court.
You know, it looked like that pressure zone defense they put on late in that second quarter helped them there. The guys were spread out, maybe too much dribbling.
Well, I think we didn't do enough dribbling. I think a couple of times Magic started coming up with a court, and he saw an open guy, so he picked up his dribble to make the pass. I think he might have been just as well off to keep going and blow through some guys, but we'll make that adjustment. I don't think that'll be the difference in the game. I'm more concerned about our foul situation.
Okay, Paul, you've done a great job. Good luck in the second half again.
Thank you.
All right. Paul Westhead of the Los Angeles Lakers. So we're at halftime here in Seattle, Washington, where the Supersonics in Game 3 lead LA 52-48. We'll be back.
Out of bounds and bring it up. The rookie James Bailey starts the second half for Seattle, and he sends it back now to Dennis Johnson. John Johnson to Dennis and Sikma. Sikma sends it back to JJ. The shot clock winding down now. They get it into the rookie. Back to DJ. 2 on the shot clock. Off to Kareem. Outlet. DJ's there on the interception. It goes out of bounds. Magic came up with an arm. No foul is called, however. Dennis is pointing out that he was hit. Now watch.
He did get him by the arm, I think, right there. He grabbed him as DJ went by, but they give the ball back to the Lakers.
Magic with the dribble. It's 52-48. Sonics leading the Lakers. And now cut that lead to 2. 52-50. Kareem with the first field goal here in the second half.
The reason they call it the other way, Rod, was because Dennis Johnson initiated the contact because Magic was not moving. He just jumped up to grab the ball.
Here's Bailey now. Tosses one. It goes in. Where'd he get that shot?
Take that.
He had no place to go but throw it up. Threw a prayer up, and it was answered on this one. Underhand scoop. And the ball dropped right in the net. Not even using the glass.
Oh, come on. Are all kids from Rutgers that good? Here's Jamaal Wilkes. Dueling away. Sending it to Jones. Jones is open. Didn't get the bounce. And it's John Johnson with the rebound. Over to DJ, but Norm Nixon spotted the ball, knocked it out of bounds, and goes. Hot Rod, didn't Paul Westhead say to you at halftime he's concerned about Norm Nixon's 4 fouls? As you watch Norm, he's only got 3. I did a double check, and the Laker bench had 1 more on Nixon than he really has. If these stats are accurate, I double checked every place because I didn't think he had 4. I've got 3 right now. All right, they send it inside to Gus. Gus comes up. And suddenly it is 56-50.
How do you lose a guy like Gus?
Magic penetrates. Off to Jones. Offensive rebound rejected by the rookie, James Bailey. Wilkes hits the field goal. It's 56-52. Isn't that Bailey something?
You notice he almost went up to block Magic's shot. He realized he would have been goaltending. He came back down and then picked up on Jones.
Here he is again on the turnaround. Short. Kareem is off. Kareem hits Magic. Magic lead to Jones on a beautiful pass across to Wilkes. A great pass by Magic to set the whole field goal up. 56-54. Now the champions by 2. And is Magic hurt? Something's wrong. He's clutching. Something's wrong with Magic Johnson. He's clutching that muscle that he injured, I believe, originally against Phoenix, and he is in pain. They've got to stay with Magic. They can't use an injury timeout. Now they can. He's got to have an injury timeout.
He can't get his right arm up.
Timeout. Nixon on the drive for the field goal. Magic can't get that right arm up, and still they can't. Now there will be a full timeout by Seattle. And Jack Curran out quickly now to Magic Johnson. I remember him falling in one of the games of the Forum against Phoenix, and he injured that muscle in the upper part of the right arm. And there's no question that he is in pain right now. We'll be right back. We'll check on that injury right away. The first thing trainer Jack Curran said to Magic was same spot. Yes, said Magic. They quickly applied an ice pack, and as you can see, he is now getting that arm up above his head, but it was injured originally late in a blowout against the Phoenix Suns. So the Lakers go back on defense. This game is tied at 56, 9:05 left in the third. Here's Sikma left alone up over Magic. Taken down by Wilkes. Norm Nixon. Brings it back outside. Magic wants the pass, but they send it to Jones. Now it's Jamaal. 8 on the shot. 7, 6. Inside to Kareem. Misfired with the rookie Bailey there on defense, and Bailey takes it down the middle and right up in Magic offensive foul. Magic jumped over a photographer, stopped short of the press table.
Boy, he was backpedaling to get out of there. Watch Bailey take it right to him. Off balance, right into the basket. Magic took the full brunt of the blow. Back out of there, they call him charge, and the basket is not allowed.
There it is, our situation, 8:27. Third period, game 3, the Western Conference Final even at a game apiece. Wilkes out high.
You know, it looks like if Jamaal Wilkes would put the ball on the floor a little bit, he'd be much more effective because he's not...
Knocked away from him right there. Rush by Sikma goes to the left.
No, he's looking to pass, but looks like he's tentative. He's not. If he put the ball on the floor, he might open things up in the middle there.
Sikma holding court against Kareem. Magic Magic puts it down and comes in with the layup.
That's what you need to get that arm all right. That always straightens it out. You can get it above the shoulder when you get a layup.
He got bumped on that side, too, the right shoulder as he put her up.
Now the Sonics can tie it. 58-56 Lakers. They move it to DJ. Pull up on Magic. In and out with Kareem's rebound. Here's Magic again. Dennis got a hand on the ball. Magic has to slow it down. Now he dribbles it up.
See, that's one of DJ's problems. That last shot, very flat. Brett, he's not getting the arch on the ball.
Here's Kareem. Sky hook.
He picked again, Rod. I saw him.
4-point Laker lead. DJ moves it over to John Johnson. Back to Dennis, top of the circle. The middle is tightened up for the Lakers on defense. Sikma's on the money. Warren Nixon.
Now, Jack Sikma knows his shots have more arc than they normally have, although he's made them. His shot has changed a little bit than his normal shot.
Here's Kareem. Coming through the lane, swatted away by the rookie Bailey. Lead now to Bailey. Bailey in the transition to JJ.
Well, that's a smart play by the rookie. The last time he charged, this time he smartly gave the ball up.
Nixon quickly to the attack with the score tied again as a result of that. Jones gets it to Kareem, and the Lakers are back ahead on that jam.
Hey, one thing, though, when you block Kareem's shot, all you're doing is waking a sleeping dog, because he may come right back at you as he did on that play.
Don't use that word dog. That caused a whole lot of problems last year. Giant is a better term with Kareem. Bailey up over the top to the left side. Sends it back inside out of bounds. The receiver had simply turned his back. We're going to have a timeout here in Seattle. It's game 3, 6:13 to go. Third period in Seattle, and the Lakers lead the Sonics by a field goal. Game apiece. We'll have the fourth game. That'll be the second game of our doubleheader Sunday. Bailey with the steal. The rookie contributes. Williams gives it back to him.
Beautiful shot. He squirted that one up with the left hand from the right side. Perfect timing.
Magic dribbles it across the timeline. That shot tied it up again. And hasn't this rookie ever made a difference with the Sonics in the playoffs? Not that much of a factor during the regular season. Nixon penetrates, sends it back. Jones for the left perimeter. DJ, and now the Sonics can regain the lead. Gus Williams sends it back. JJ had a hand on it. Bailey's back. It's 5-on-5. Williams inside. Jones. Shot partially blocked, rejected by Kareem, and the Lakers blocked 2 shots. Magic now, rotating, dishing Jones, and he traveled. Jimmy Jones turned it over.
Why is he upset? But it's a good call. He should have put the ball to the floor. It's an excellent feed. Here's your look again. Magic to the middle. Right here, put it to the floor, 1-2 steps too many, and the referee made an excellent call.
Eddie Wilkins yelling about the absence of a foul at the other end. Bailey goes inside to Gus. Wilkes there reaching up over the top of Gus, and he fouled it.
How about
Williams saying it's about time.
How about that pass? He made a nice move there. The rookie Bailey whipped it right in.
That is the first team foul on the Lakers. 5:03 in the third. To Sikma. Sikma, a running hook is short. Knocked away from Kareem, who touched it last. Sonics ball. Fresh 24.
Here's your move. Sikma, they'll clear it out. As DJ cut out of the way, that gives Sikma room to come across the lane. The hook would not go on the play. Knocked out of bounds by Abdul Jabbar.
Mark Landsberger with his first action in this game. Off the Laker bench. Nixon dueling Williams. At the side of him, Gus Travel. Lakers ball on the turnover. Landsberger up front with Wilkes and Abdul Jabbar. We're tied at 62 with 4:40 to go here in the third period.
At this point, Brent, no one has control of this game, neither the Lakers or Seattle. They are now, this is a power struggle right now. This is a part of the game where it's more mental than anything, because they're trying, each team is trying to say, okay, we're going to play our way, and the other team says, no, we're going to play our way. And right now, tentative, and they're struggling right now mentally to see who's going to determine the pace of this game.
Russ, that was Jamaal Wilkes' way. Hit that shot for the corner. With the Lakers ahead by 2, and now Sikma. Short, yanked off by Wilkes. Wilkes on the bounce to Nixon. Nixon, it's Magic. Dennis there on him. They're going to Kareem in the corner and back through Magic. Down to the left baseline. Over his head, sloppy pass. Here comes Williams. Nixon's back. DJ's all alone. Gus Williams did an excellent job keeping Nixon close to him. Simply waited for Dennis to get into position, and the foul goes against the Lakers. Norm Nixon pushing Dennis Johnson out of the way. And now that is number 4.
That was an outstanding defensive play by Dennis Johnson.
Here's that play again. Gus, who has done this so many times with Dennis, brought the defense to him, as you mentioned, Brett. Perfect feed. And then on the inbound pass, Nixon right there shoved away. Offensive foul. And the first time they called it on him, and it's his 4th foul. And
Lenny Wilkins and the Sonics with the timeout here in Seattle. We're tied again at 64. 3:46 left in the 3rd period. For a visit with the Spinks brothers tomorrow on CBS. You can see the Sonics have really cut down on the turnovers. They had 24 in the second game. 7 here tonight. Tied at 64.
You know, this game is for the Lakers to take. They have done everything wrong they could possibly do, and everything bad's happened to them, and they're still tied ball game. It's almost theirs to take. If they can stop throwing it away and get into their game, they got a good chance in this game tonight. But so far, they've said, well, okay, Seattle, we're not going to let you give it to us.
They're going to come down this time and look for Wilkes, I believe, on a double around.
There he is, Hot Rod. Coming around the double inside of John Johnson, hit the field goal, and suddenly Silk is feeling it perhaps for the first time in this series.
When he's in a slump that he's been in, he should go to the spots to get out of it where he shoots best, and that's on the baselines.
Paul Westhead yelling defensive instructions. You can hear him from the sideline. Kareem came over on Dennis. Mark Landsberger off to Wilkes. Now Landsberger is working up front, and the Lakers lead it by 2. Here's Nixon. It's a 4-point lead. 2:43, 3rd period, and Jack Madden going to stop action here for a moment.
Okay, let's stop roughing it up out here. He wants to keep control of the game, Brent. That's all he did.
No foul. He just had a few words of warning, and now they'll bring it up. And Kareem was exchanging something with Dennis Johnson.
No, he was being the peacemaker. Blessed are the peacemakers. You know, in these games like this, tough games like this, the confrontation thing causes animosity. A guy gets hit.
Leaner by Gus. Landsberger rebound.
And so you get retaliation, things like this. So now what?
Williams swatted away, and here's Landsberger control. Run it over to the Sonics. Stolen by Kareem. Has the ball on the sideline. Didn't step out of bounds. Lenny is still out.
That's quite a move for the big fellow to make there. It's out of nowhere, really, a whistle.
I believe that Kareem steps out of bounds and comes back in. That's what Kareem does. He's out of bounds, he comes back in and picks the ball up, and he's turned it over, and Jack Madden, trailing on the play, alertly picked it up. On the turnover, Kareem had gone out of bounds and then simply came back in. It was an excellent call, certainly a little bit late. Williams sends it over now to John Johnson. JJ for Sikma. Sikma in low. Sikma up with the shot. Kareem to the rebound. The Lakers up by 4. Here's Cooper. Cooper in the transition. Back to Magic on the layup. Yanked off by Sikma. Here's Dennis Johnson for the Sonics. Down by 4 points now. JJ. Back now to Sikma. Cross stolen. Bad pass. Cooper on the turnover. And a backcourt foul has been called on Gus Williams.
You got to be very alert around that young man, Mike Cooper. Very quick. Spotted a pass low. It's a tough pass to pick off through the bounce pass, but he came right through and grabbed it. And then Gus grabbed him in the backcourt. As Freddie Brown will come in the backcourt for Seattle.
At the free throw line is Michael Cooper.
Now what Lenny is trying to do with the plays that he's running, the substitutions he's making, is get control of this game because they don't have control of the game right now. And this type of game is to LA's advantage because they're not running and they're not setting up plays. And it's halfway.
Short on that free throw. It's 69-64 Lakers. 1:31 third. will Silas. Off to Sikma. DJ coming inside of Kareem, and Kareem leading. That is number 4 on Kareem. Number 4.
He has a tendency to do that every time a smaller man will move around him. Watch him put his leg out. There's DJ right there. You cannot do that. And he's done that several times in this playoff. And a big foul, his fourth. A minute 19 left, third quarter.
Freddie out high, goes to JJ. Tom Lagarde at center. John Johnson with that little fadeaway jump shot at the free throw line, and it's a 3-point Laker lead. Pressure by DJ. They go back to Magic. Sparks off the play. Difficult for the players now to hear each other on the floor. Kareem sends it back to Magic. Dish inside. And Jamaal couldn't hit it. Lead from Silas. John Johnson breaks on Cooper. And Michael Cooper goaltending. Fouled him. He fouled him. No goaltending. He came up and hit his arm.
That was some play. Here it is again. Silas made the great play getting the ball down to Johnson. He went in for the layup. Coop tried the best he could to circle and try to stay out of his way, but he couldn't avoid the foul.
And here is John Johnson shooting a pair of free throws with 41 seconds to go, and Kareem will sit down next to Norm Nixon, and Lenny Wilkes and assistant coach Les Habager conferring as John Johnson out of the University of Iowa tosses in the free throw. (69-67), and JJ can reduce it to 1, and he does. Magic calling to Cooper for the backdoor play. Let's see if they can get it off. 34, Cooper lurking in behind Jones. And as Magic was coming in on Freddie Brown, the foul is called.
Freddie didn't like it. He said, that's just like, yeah, I just got my hand on him slightly. It has nothing to do with the progress of the ball. He can't believe they called it. But again, I think that the call is being made more or less to control the game or any other reason.
And because they're in the penalty now with 5 team fouls against the Sonics, here's the young man, Magic Johnson, at the free throw line. And again, that is not nearly as distracting as it looks. It is not as distracting because he's looking up, simply up over the top of it. If we were in a place like the Kingdom, it would be a factor where the crowd comes down all the way. That looks much worse than it is. That time it'll rattle out. Silas hands to Brown. Here's John Johnson with the dribble. 24 seconds. Time remaining third period. And the Sonics shooting for a tie. Downtown had a block by Cooper. Cooper releases. Jamaal's in the middle. Back to Cooper, who's hit by John Johnson. And Cooper to the free throw line for LA.
What a remarkable play. Both ends of the court. As Coop came up with it, and made a good shot out of it going from the right side to get the foul. He changed the ball back to his left hand. And JJ grabbed him for the foul. So Cooper will have 3 to make 2.
Brad Holland checks in. There you can see Jones with control on the outlet, and watch the transition. Wilkes coming down the middle. He keys it, sent it back on the bounce, and John Johnson, as Hot Rod pointed out, he just went over there to stop him, and they almost had to foul him. And on the roll, the free throw is good.
After Cooper made that block on the shot, he had the ball on the far side, almost went out of bounds, and alertly got it to Wilkes, then filled the lane.
72-68, Brad Holland is checked in for the first time in the series. That's because we're down to the last 9. They might want a midcourt shot. He's in on Johnson. They don't want a cheap foul on Nixon here. Blocked by Magic. Cooper's got it. 1 second. He did not get it off. Did not get it off. So the end of 3 periods here in Seattle. 72-68 Lakers. The NBA on CBS will continue after these messages from your local station. Russberger with Bill Russell and Hot Rod Hundley. Thanks for joining us tonight. And during that timeout, Russ was saying that the Lakers appear to be in good shape, and the Sonics need a big lift from Lonnie Shelton. And here is Shelton back on the floor, who in Game 1 scored 15, Game 2, 16, and he's a guy who can do it, Russ.
Yeah, because he got 15 rebounds also in one of those games. I don't remember which one it was. But they need a lift now because they have not been able to get control of this game.
Magic Johnson coming in on Dennis, 72-68. Mark Landsberger with a fadeaway is short. LaGarde rebounds. Off to DJ of the Sonics. Dennis Johnson and Fred Brown in the backcourt. All Silas, Lonnie Shelton, and Tom LaGarde.
And Westhead is doing something he hasn't done this year so far. He's using his bench. I mean, not just a normal 7 guy, but he's using his whole bench.
On the miss, but DJ with an offensive rebound coming back up to the field goal. A 2-point Laker lead.
He got away with that one. He had Coop right there with him as Sikma and Kareem both went long for the bench. But Dennis got it away for the field goal.
Magic spins back to the left. Missed the shot, and the Sonics can tie it on this trip. DJ rises up on Magic. Shelton battling, and there is Lonnie Shelton missing. Tom LaGarde has tied it. 11 minutes, we're deadlocked again.
This is a strong lineup for Seattle with Shelton and Silas in the lineup. They've got to control the boards.
Holland from the corner. Brad Holland, who came up here with UCLA and suffered a bitter disappointment with a loss to the Huskies in the last second a year ago. Hits from the corner here. He knows the floor. 74-72 now. The Lakers. Paul Silas sends it into Dennis. Holland with his hands full on Dennis. Sticks with him and he fouled it. Dennis will come up to the line. Brad Holland was right there, and here they come. Kareem, Abdul, Jabbar, Jamaal, Wilkes, and Norm Nixon.
That's some pretty good talent coming back in there. They're ready to go now with 10:31 left in the game.
Landsberger's out. Magic will sit down for a while. And Brad Holland leaves after hitting a big field goal. Here's Dennis.
I think LaGarde will probably stay in there for a while, too, now, Brett, because he's played pretty well, and then he can still go with him and save Sikma.
DJ at that free throw line has been lethal. That's 18 points for the game. Deadlocked one more time. At least a dozen times we've been tied here in this third game of the Western Conference Final. Jamaal to the floor. Shelton with him. Jamaal on a runner's off.
He got hit on that drive then. Pretty good shot, too.
Dennis is off to LaGarde. Offensive foul on Tommy LaGarde, who is out of control. It'll go over to the Lakers.
Well, it's a big break there. Here's the drive. LaGarde tried to carry in. He wanted to make the contact to hopefully get a foul against the Lakers. He took
a knee in the midsection. Tommy LaGarde. Let me show here. Wilkes maneuvering on Lonnie Shelton, as Russell pointed out. Wilkes was touched on the run and off with the miss, and now here comes the play. Now the Lakers are set up to draw the charge. Watch Cooper. Cooper jumps into position, and there is that left knee right in the midsection, so the 20-second injury timeout. He's a tough boy. He'll be all right.
He's back up there. What do you think, Russ?
I think that he didn't get hit in the stomach.
Lakers.
Thank you, Russ.
Nice to have the last honest man with us here tonight. All right, Cooper sends it over now to Wilkes. Silk is on the money. 76-74. Now it's the champion's turn with Sikma watching. Shelton looks in. Silas to the top. LaGarde out high, and here's Dennis. They look for the open man. 7 on the shot clock. And on the turnover, it's Wilkes. Lead for Cooper. Silas in a foot race. Cooper comes inside of him. And it's 78-74. Wilkins and Westhead. Off the bench now the rest of the way, I would imagine. 9-19. Assistant Pat Riley up in front of the Laker bench. They went inside. Jones was in on top of Lonnie Shelton.
That's a tough job for the Lakers defensively. Again, I point out the size of Shelton and Silas. Both like to go low. That brings the defense in. It hurts those guys like Wilkes on the offensive end because they got to get in there and buckle up tight.
We've got a timeout in Seattle. 9:13 left. Time. The Lakers leading. The Sonics 78-74. And the champions have the ball out of bounds. Freddie Brown back in to see if he can provide some of that instant offense that Russ likes to tell us about.
And they're going to need it right now because things are not going that way.
LaGard gives to Freddie, and there he is, Russ, immediately to a field goal. It's 78-76, 8:59. Can he do it one more time?
Kareem jumped right out in his path, too, and Freddie drilled it right over him.
And the way the game's going right now, Brown is much better for the Sonics than Gus would be. Gus has to have the ball moving and a lot of speed because his base asset is speed. Brown's just a pure shooter. And so this
Nixon inside on the miss.
That could be on Kareem.
Jones.
They give it to Jones.
That's against Jim Jones. 3 fouls. Not against Kareem. 2 on the team side. 8:35. 78-76. And as Russ pointed out, it's better now with Freddie Brown, and perhaps Gus will work right alongside of him. Jones switches on Freddie. The guard put it down and went on.
Kareem had to back away. He's done an excellent job, and that was a super move by the backup center.
And that ties the score for the 13th time in Seattle.
That's the kind of lift I'm talking about. Something unexpected to turn the game around.
Cooper sends it to Jones. Silas is with him. Back to Wilkes. Shelton trying to stick with a quicker man. Back to Nixon. 2 on the shot. 1 on the shot. Wilkes in time as the shot clock ran out. The Lakers having difficulty hearing from themselves in the bench that the shot clock was winding down, and Jamaal buried the field goal. 80-78 Lakers. Silas sends it back to LaGard. They go backdoor Shelton. Shelton drew the foul, and he'll come up to that free throw line.
As soon as he felt the contact, he rolled out. And that's the way you want to post a man up low when you're down on that side like that. He rolled, pushed away, got the ball underneath. Then Jones called for the foul coming up behind him. And Shelton leaned back as he put the shot up.
And, Rob, that is 4 fouls now on Jim Jones.
One of the encouraging factors for the Lakers, however, is that the ability of Wilkes to come back and hit his shots. He's been pretty hot here in this half.
Jones will go out with those 4 fouls. And now Paul Westhead, Russ, will counter with that small lineup. Magic Johnson, Michael Cooper, Norm Nixon, and Jamaal Wilkes out there. So Abdul Jabbar must carry the rebounding burden. Although Wilkes certainly can help out, as he did when the Golden State Warriors won the championship, and for all intents and purposes, he was the big forward. 14 fouls on L.A., none on Seattle. Trying to get it to Kareem, and out of bounds, hit by Seattle. Lakers ball, 7:21 left for the game, 80-79, Lakers by a point.
Magic Johnson's good enough a rebounder at playing forward to help out on the boards.
He's matched up with Lonnie Shelton.
Nixon sends it into Kareem. Hook is good. And he'll come to the free throw line. Tommy LaGard. Foul Kareem.
Here's another look. He gets a nice pass inside for Nixon. Looks for cutters. Nobody there. Swing it to the baseline. And again, that beautiful touch for the field goal.
Rod, you touched on something very important a few minutes ago, the fact that Jamaal Wilkes hit his outside shot. Because the Lakers, every team that plays them, they depend on the Lakers not being able to hit that outside shot, and they're collapsing on Kareem. If he's going to hit that, that opens it up just a little bit. It's enough to give Kareem a chance to get that sky hook. And he's pretty good when he peaks.
Williams sends it to the corner, downtown. There is it. It's a 2-pointer. It was not a 3-pointer, but it was close. 83.
Touch that line.
Here it is. You take a look at it from a high camera view as Gus hits Freddie in the corner. Right there, he had his foot on the line. Good call by the officials. 2-point field goal.
Jack Madden with a great view of it, called it right away. Went to the scorer's table. Now it's Wilkes again from the corner, just as Bill Russell and Hot Rod Hundley have pointed out. That outside shot now starting to fall for the team that blazed away this year at 53% for the field. It's 85-81. Lakers by 4. Freddie has to send it back because of the defense. Now Cooper left it, and Freddie Brown hits the field goal. Here come the champions. 85-83 and 6:20.
I don't care where he plays, it's like being at home. Freddie Brown.
Nixon at the top. Sends it over now to Magic Johnson. Shelton out on him. Silas chasing after a quicker Jamaal Wilkes. They go into Kareem. Kareem on the turnaround with a soft touch, and it's 87-83.
Looked like he was knocked off balance, too, and he maintained his balance with the shot and made a beautiful turnaround.
Nixon out on Williams. It's a 4-point Laker lead. The Wizard rotates. Score it and send it to the free throw line.
It'll be on Nixon.
5 fouls on Norm Nixon.
He puts his hands away, too. He did not want to commit the foul as Gus pirouetted right into him and took the ball right up to the basket.
We've got a timeout, and the NBA on CBS will continue after these messages from your local stations. 5:45 left, Hot Rod, and perhaps a major turning point.
Here's the foul against Norm Nixon, his 5th. Watch him go up with his hands to block. Then he realized he might foul. He pulls his hands down. However, right here he pulls away. But Gus leaned into him. They contacted bodies in the foul call. I think they should have let that one go. But it's a very, very big play. And 5 on playmaking guard Norm Nixon.
And impeach Nixon indeed on that call and elect Gus, who hit the big field goal. And now, because of that 5th foul, Williams is at the line. He can pull them to within a point, and Jack Sikma has returned. Now, the Sonics have made the changes defensively because of a quicker Jamaal Wilkes. John Johnson, Sikma, and Lonnie Shelton are going up front, and JJ draws Wilkes. He was a little too quick for Paul Silas, so Silas will sit down. Now Shelton is out on Jamaal. Nixon. And there was a whistle down inside. Technical foul is called.
Well, JJ. Zone defense.
Or zone, yeah. JJ was hanging back inside, Brent. He wasn't guarding anyone on the play.
And with a 1-point lead and 5:29 left, a critical free throw for Norm Nixon. And Captain Freddie Brown saying, come on, why would you call that right now? It is a 2-point lead on the technical free throw because of the illegal zone defense.
Well, he didn't stay there too long, only about 15, 20 seconds.
Take a look at this,
right
Brent.
here.
Nobody near JJ. He's not guarding anybody.
This man, remember, is Jamaal Wilkes. Now the Lakers come inbounds. Cooper moves it to Nixon. Nixon spins, draws a double team. Cooper moves it to Jamaal. Left alone, and they've got to go with him now.
That's where he's at his best, on the baseline with those jump shots. He's got his rhythm, he's got confidence.
And 21 points for the game for Jamaal Wilkes. It's 90-86. Inside to Shelton. Shelton up high. Got the roll. 90-88. 5 minutes left in regulation time in Game 3. Nixon brings it down slowly now for the Lakers. Williams awaits him. Goes to the left in Cooper. Sikma trying to front. Kareem's coming in. Jams it home, and it's 92-88. 4:45. That's 27 points. The magic figure in the playoffs has been 30 for Kareem. They've never lost when he's gotten that many. 92-88. Freddie to the three-point line. Pops it. 2 points. 1 foot was inside. I thought it was a three-pointer. But Jack Madden again had the view. 92-90, and Brown with 3 field goals in the 4th. Nixon on the cut. I want to take still another look. There was a foul going against.
Here's that move. Seattle with the ball. Gus Williams into the front court. Watch Freddie, right to the right side. Right there. Well, he's right. The referee was on it. He had his foot on the line.
The right toe was on that line, and both feet have to be behind it. Jack Madden with a perfect view. He has called both of them on the money. The foul was against Gus Williams.
One valuable thing here for the Lakers. Nixon can bring that ball down the floor by himself. The Lakers send 4 people down low and move them around expertly, and that is to their advantage. That's why Coach Paul Westhead is very concerned that he has Nixon in the game here going to the wire.
Nixon with 3 free throws here in the 4th, too. Hot Rod, 13 total for the game. 94-90. Shelton sends it back to John. Here now is Gus. Returns it to JJ. Over to Shelton. The corner wants to put it on the floor. And Kareem, the blocking foul against Kareem. 5 fouls on Abdul. Abdul Jabbar at the 4-minute mark. And as Hot Rod Hundley pointed out early in this game, it is Kareem with the legs trying to seal off the baseline, Russ, and he's picked up 2 fouls with that maneuver right here.
Here he is again. Shelton fake. And there he bumped him with that hip, trying to move that leg out.
That was more of the, well, it wasn't exactly the leg that time, but he was trying to do the same thing, right?
Same results. Same results.
All right.
Same results.
Shelton with a big free throw. It's 94-98.
We'll say hip.
So here is the incredible Hulk of the Seattle Supersonics. When Lou Ferrigno gives it up, it belongs to Lonnie Shelton. 3:57 now in regulation. A 2-point lead by the Lakers. The Western Conference Final even at a victory apiece. They move it to Jamaal. Kareem in behind Sikma. Magic pops, lobs. Kareem in behind Sikma, comes up, misses the layup. Taken by Magic Johnson. Sikma blocks it. Still loose. A great block by Sikma on Magic Johnson. Here's Freddie Brown. Freddie rotates middle. Has to send it now to John Johnson. Back to Freddie. Three-pointer on its way. Is off to Magic. 94-92 Lakers. 3:26 left. Regulation time. Trapped on the side is Magic. Now he comes into the middle. Comes inside of Shelton. Wants to dish it off. Michael Cooper tracks it down. Cooper off the glass. Gets it back. Hangs. Kareem is open on the other side. Lenny Wilkes is furious.
Oh, he charged on that play. Got away with it. They let the ball go. Now, Cooper obviously on that charge. That's a big play. And Kareem got the jam. Follow-up. And Wilkes is out of reach. Here's your play, Russ. Now watch Coop. Number 21. Shelton moves right there. Took him right to the floor, but no call.
We've got a timeout, but meanwhile, Captain Freddie Brown is conferring with Jack Madden. 3:10 to go when you come back. Arena reminds me of a state high school championship. Maybe McClymonds High School out of Oakland. Bill Russell down in the pivot. Here comes Frank Robinson and Veda Pinson. Pinson over to Rob. Remember that group you had? Pretty good team.
My high school never looked like this.
96-92. Lakers leading the world champions by 4. 3:10 to go in regulation. But remember, the Sonics have played 3 overtimes already in the playoffs. Gus Williams sends it now to John Johnson. They move it to Shelton. Shelton from the right corner. Scott off to Kareem. Kareem's outlet to Nixon. Norman now puts a move on. Nixon comes into the left hand and drew the foul. John Johnson.
Not a good foul there. I don't think Norm would have made that shot. He had committed. He had it flowing off balance with the left hand. As you look again, Kareem outlets the pass to Nixon. Made a fine move penetrating. And then he veered to the left side and changed hands. A little off balance, but he was bumped and fouled. That's a big play. The Lakers can go up by 6.
At the free throw line now for the game. The Lakers are 16 of 24. And the Sonics 22 of 26. And Lenny Wilkes, sitting back down next to Les, has not been happy with the referee tonight. 2:49 left, and it's a 6-point Laker lead. Paul Westhead is up, talking to the Laker defense, directly in front of his bench.
Stay up, Mike. Stay up, Mike.
You can hear the encouragement. John Johnson's open. Great pass from Shelton. And Kareem, of course, has to be careful. They can go into the well. He's playing with those 5 fouls, 98-94. He cannot be as aggressive as he normally is.
He would have blocked that shot under normal circumstances.
Cooper dumps it off to Kareem. Kareem triple team has it stolen by Freddie Brown. Brown's lead to the loser. Williams hits the layup. It's 98-96. 2-point. Lakers right back. Norm Nixon out. Pressures the right baseline. Sends it back to Magic Johnson. Inside of 2 minutes they wanted Wilkes. Wilkes comes through and hits loose ball. They tie it up. Sikma saves it. The champions can tie it. Freddie Brown across court to Gus. So tough under pressure of the Sonics. Loose ball that time. Off to Nixon. He's alone. A big play for once, Bill Russell. The Sonics in the critical situation don't convert the field goal. I can't remember them ever failing in the last couple of years when the big money was on the line. 196. Freddie Brown is off. Loose rebound. Gus Williams loose. John Johnson dives for it. There they are with the loose ball, and the foul called. Magic reaching down on John Johnson.
JJ thought he was fouled the last time down and complained to the referee, but the ball actually was knocked free. I thought it was good call, but not really making a call, the absence of the call. But this time, his absolute hustle came up with the ball. They just can't find the handle here. Watch him dive, roll the ball over where he can control it, and make some nice speed, and was fouled while lying on his back.
That's why they're world champions. To the floor for the loose balls all the time, hustling on defense. And here is their very underrated small forward. John Johnson will never be on an all-star team, but he's the kind of player you need to win big games. It is now 100-97, 129, a three-point lead.
And you got to feel that somewhere along the line, a Freddie Brown may be raising for a three-point try before this one's over.
Very early to even think about that, however. It is now down to 2, and the Lakers will huddle up around Paul Westhead and Pat Riley. We're going to be right back for the final minute 29 of regulation time. You're watching Game 3 of the Western Final, and we hope you're enjoying it. Just moments ago, Paul Westhead been into the Laker huddle and talked to them about the next play.
Come down this side, but now you're going to come over to your right. Right? Silk's popping. Come up strong to get it. Maybe you can test it with a little bump. Come up. As soon as he gets it, look for EJ, and now we're coming across. Kareem's coming over. Take whatever you want. Take the whole underneath side, Kareem. You either shoot the J or get it into Kareem. Now, here are your options.
So here it is. Jamaal Wilkes with the hot hand here in Seattle. 21 points. And they want him to force his way out and get into shooting position. 120. Jamal's underneath, and now here he comes out behind Magic, and John Johnson was right there switching alertly to take him away. Now they go to Kareem in the middle. Kareem with a big field goal. 102 to 98, 110. So Paul also told Kareem to take the whole middle, and he did, and it paid off as an alternative. Now the pressure mounts for Seattle. Three-point try on its way. Nixon controls 56 seconds for the Lakers. 102 to 98.
Now the Lakers need at least a free throw out of this time down.
Gus is out on Norm Nixon. Nixon sends it to Cooper. 6 on the shot clock. 5 on the shot. 4, 3, 2. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar took matters into his own hands. 33 points.
They need 2 3-pointers.
31 seconds there on Freddie. Back to Sikma. Sikma's the field goal. 104 to 100. 26 seconds. Pressure in the backcourt, so they go to Magic. Magic sends it across down to Nixon. Nixon comes across midcourt. Sends it to Magic. Magic looking for the clock.
They can run the clock out just about.
There's 13 on the shot, 15 for the game. Gus has to foul Magic Johnson now, who can step up there with a 4-point Los Angeles lead here in Game 3. Gus, of course, forced to make a foul because, as Bill Russell pointed out, they could all but run out the clock. So we have come down to the last 15 seconds. We're going to check in on the huddle. I know all of you watching in Los Angeles immediately after the game. Connie Chung and Marsha Brandwin, along with the latest stories out of Iran and the crisis there. Now we're going to go inside the huddle and see what's going here.
Just hold the ball. We ain't got to shoot it. We move it. Okay. If they foul you when you don't have the ball, it's a kill.
So, Norm. Kareem. Coop. Magic. Coop. Norman out. Magic, no screen. Where are you? No screen. Just curl around and come up nice and high. If either one of them aren't clearly like 5 feet open, Silk, Kareem's going to run right to the ball like we did the last time. Remember, not a lot. He's just going to run right to it.
You got to throw it up half.
Well, but, you know, he's going to come like within 6 feet of it. And just get it. Now we got Magic, got Norman curling out. We'll just keep it and run it down.
Once I get it, Mike. Mike, once I get it, come on. Hey, Matt. Hey, Coop. Me, you, and him got to stay available because if they fire you without the ball, it's a technical, we take it out. So don't let them fire you with the rock if you can't help it.
One time out. All right, so here's the sequence now. When the official hands the ball, Norman's going to pop. Give him a ball fake. Magic's coming up. Give him a little ball fake. And then the big fella's going to come. So I want a 3 count.
Let's go. Let's get the motherfucker.
Now as you heard in that Laker huddle, because the Sonics are not yet in the penalty, the Lakers will take the ball out of bounds. That was the last foul to give. And that was very alert basketball by Gus Williams, Russ, because nowhere on any of the scoreboards here in this arena do you have the team fouls. And Williams quickly went to it, and the Lakers will have to put it in from out of bounds. They're at the limit right now. And the Sonics will either have to steal it or foul somebody quickly. Into Kareem, who jumps up. They send it back to Wilkes. They move it to Nixon. The clock comes down. Back out to Magic. Magic just holds on. Sends it over to Kareem. They can run it out. They've got to foul somebody. And Nixon pops out alertly. And here it comes. It's over. It is over. The Los Angeles Lakers have taken a 2-1 series lead for Paul Westhead. 104 to